On November the 8th, a group of cyclists from Greenpeace Indonesia bound for Denpasar, Bali on a campaign spreading awareness about the effects of the climate crisis found themselves blocked by a mass organization in Probolinggo, East Java. The cyclists were barred from continuing their climate campaign from Jakarta to Bali, which is hosting this small event which only invites dozens of state leaders and representatives from 20 countries. Yes, the cyclists were prevented from continuing to the location where the G20 Summit is being held. Okay, you might be wondering why I'm using English this time, but this episode was intentionally presented in English in hopes to capture the attention of G20 stakeholders. Even if that's just one person sharing with another, that would be enough to help lift the taboo of talking about the climate crisis publicly. Back to the show. Greenpeace Indonesia representative Tata Mustasya on the same day confirmed that a group of people surrounded their cyclist team in East Java. Their cyclists were forced to sign a statement that Greenpeace will not campaign in Bali until the G20 event concludes. There were also alleged cyber attacks on the means of communications of Greenpeace members prior to the incident in East Java. The worst part in their ordeal is that these spies who follow them seem very systematic. The Greenpeace team were followed at the very location in their campaign, and their vehicles were allegedly hit twice. One, a hit and run, and had one of their cars' tire deflated. Are they such a threat that they deserve this type of intimidation? Are they? Another case, on November the 5th, a public talk show calling for Balinese youths to discuss the issues at the forefront of the G20 Summit was abruptly cancelled. The event was co-organized by Balinese grunge band Navikula, known for expressing awareness of social and environmental issues in their arts. The event's poster, spread on Instagram, clearly states that their talk show is mainly driven to discuss the ins and outs of the G20 Summit and find solutions to the climate crisis. This very talk show was reportedly cancelled because a local Balinese customary organization had enacted a restriction for public events that coincide with G20 Summit, especially events that are feared to garner large groups of people. The Bali governor, that reportedly driven by orders from the central government, had issued an official circular letter that sees the enactment of PPKM, or a public activity restriction. This PPKM effectively restricts public activity from November the 11th until November 17th. This very PPKM is known by us Indonesians as the policy that curbs the spread of coronavirus, and it should stay that way. This policy should not evolve into a government policy meant to subdue the public to make Bali seem nice and tidy for the G20 delegates. The chairperson of Bali's customary village assembly, known as MDA, had issued a circular letter that blatantly urges Bali residents to refrain from criticizing the local government. Hey, I'm not making this up. What I said from the beginning can be found in news articles across 3 of Tempo's main platforms. You're free to check it out yourselves too, and I urge you to. This is no surprise that these alleged repressions have been condemned by environmental and human rights watchdogs such as Amnesty International Indonesia, the Commission for Missing Persons and Victims of Violence, or Kontras, and Lokataru. All of these NGOs believe that subduing the voices of the public is clearly undemocratic. Look, okay, we can agree that the G20 Summit is a prestigious event. But is it? The Indonesian government had already perceived the presidency as an amazing accomplishment, when in fact, that is clearly a misconception. In this current presidency, Indonesia actually just exchanged places with India. Let people voice their opinions, especially on how to prevent worsened climate effects, and how we can better look after the planet we live on. Listening to the voices of the people from the grassroots level can be valuable for us, and especially the government, as the truth can come from places we least expect. I'll catch you in the next episode, but we'll likely return to using Bahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih.